You all are bored to death. And that's because politics is boring. I'm not a professional speaker, I'm not a politician. Let me tell you what I am. Actually, I want to tell you a little bit about the history of me. I am a businessman, and I started my business career, this is no lie, right underneath of that basketball court, or basketball, whatever they call those things. I'm 6'3", I can never play the game. Right there, that's where I started my career. When I was 12 years old. I grew up here in the mountain area. You remember the Mountain Fellowship Center flea markets that they had every first Saturday of every month? I don't know if they still do that or not. While everybody else was out playing Little League as 12-year-olds, my mother would drop me off at the front door. And I would come in empty-handed. I'd rent a table, and I'd go to each table for all the folks who were setting up, pick up all the stuff they had that they didn't have the price right. Take it over to my table, sitting over there, and reprice it, and by the end of the day, I had a pocket full of cash. And that's how I got started in business. And I did that for years. In fact, you could walk right out of this door over here and throw a rock really, really hard. You could probably hit the house where I grew up, spent most of my time in Garrett County, over on the other side of the mountain, the other side of the line, I should say. Now, in Garrett County, we're so right-wing, our newspaper is called The Republican. So you can kind of get an idea where my conservancy comes from. Okay? But the important thing to know about me now is I'm still a businessman. I'm basically a nobody. I own a restaurant in Collinsville. Unless you're from Collinsville, you make the middle L's and it's Collinsville. I own a restaurant down there with my wife and my 4-year-old daughter running around here somewhere there she is. In fact, I'm not sure if I have a daughter. I have white pants on and she had chocolates. At any rate, I am a nobody. I really am. I tell people that I'm like Ted Kaczynski. The Unabomber, you take away the explosives, and that's me. I want to be out in the middle of the woods somewhere, in a cabin, surrounded by guard dogs and woods and deer and things like that. I don't want to be doing any of this.
Isn't that great?
But somebody has to do it.
You can watch big.
Okay?
Don't shake me.
How many of you know who I am from having met me before? I see a lot of our Fayette Patriots, or Fayette Patriots hats around. You know who I am?
Mom, I can't see.
I started out because I couldn't stand to see this going on anymore. That's really all that there was to it. I got involved because somebody has to. Future Congressman Tim Burns got involved because somebody has to. Somebody has got to stop this madness. Y'all know what the Constitution is? Anybody? Have you ever heard of that? Would be nice if somebody in Washington maybe had it. You know? The people who created and wrote the Constitution understood a few fundamentals about human nature, I think. I think they understood, for instance, that, due respect, Congressman Schuster is a tyrant. Future Congressman Burns is a tyrant. Now this is no insult to them, because you're a tyrant, and I'm a tyrant. The facts of the matter are that we're human beings, and as human beings, if we are given the opportunity to impose our will on other people, we will do so every time. Sooner or later, no matter how righteous we are or how good our intentions are, we will eventually come to a point where we have to decide, is it our way or is it the other guy's way? Whose way are we going to choose? We're going to choose our way every time. The founders understood this, and they developed a little bit of something that recognized what mankind, humanity really is. This is a complicated invention. It represents tyranny and liberty. Government is tyranny. Government is when the greater number of people essentially give the ability to a smaller number of people to determine our lives. It's a necessary thing. We have to have that because without it we have anarchy. And anarchy, we have everybody running around doing their own thing. There's no structure in society. It won't be society. It will survive. But they understood that when you give too much to the government, too much tyranny, then there is no prosperity. Now, how much do we give to the government? If this is tyranny and this is liberty, well, okay, we have to have some structure, we have to have some government, we have to have roads, okay, no problem. We have to have the military, we have to have some protection, that's all right, that's fine, that's no problem. We have to have Social Security, we have to have Medicare, we have to have the Department of Education, we have to have the Department of Energy, we have to have health care.
Oh, the likely.
2,700 pages worth of health care. That 58% of the United States population was against. You start to understand kind of what government is not supposed to be and kind of what the risks are. Okay? This is what we're facing today. An overreaching government that forgot that the founders intended it to be limited. Because without that, there is no prosperity, and society can't survive either. We, by nature, take umbrage immediately at the idea of somebody telling us what to do, because we're Americans. In other parts of the world, that's not really the case. They kind of just do what they're told because they've always done what they're told. We have the blessings of liberty and the blessings of freedom that were given to us by our founders through the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. But we are the ultimate guardians of liberty. We've got to do our part. I have much better things to do than be standing here in the middle of a stage on a Monday night. There's probably football being played somewhere, I don't know, baseball. But this has to be done. And it's got to be done by you folks. It's especially got to be done by you folks because, for one thing, this is the mountain. We are the conservative backbone of the entire area. And we're the hardest working people on the planet. I grew up on a farm. I know how hard the folks that I grew up with work, and this is the folks